Hi, everybody. Welcome back for another Bridgerton Tea Time. I'm here with LeAura Luciano. I'm Britt Madrid, if you guys are on LeAura's channel, and we're just here to spill it. LeAura, how's it going?
Oh, very
Oh,
well, very
yes, the
well.
drama begins. She's already in the spirit.
Yes. Oh, just trying to stay cool, although it's New York and we've had our second blizzard in this year.
Quite
So,
cold.
yeah, so I don't really need a fan. It's just for drama.
Just for drama. How are you doing over there in New York? Is everything cleared off by now?
No,
You
but we are thawing out
mm,
slowly but
mm.
surely. So eventually, maybe, I mean, March is just days away and I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. I have one plug for everybody. Guys, go see Reminders of Him. This is the swag bag from I went to tell like the
Ooh.
pre-screening. Comes out March 13th in your local theaters, and it's a new Colleen Hoover movie. Bring your Kleenexes. Like Lively said, wear your florals. I'm gonna say bring your Kleenexes. It is a tearjerker, but it's gonna like stretch your mind thinking about grief, the limits of forgiveness. Are there limits? I mean, it's a real cathartic movie. So bring your Kleenexes and enjoy.
Wow. Okay. That's an
That's my
endorsement.
endorsement. And guys, Mercury is retrograde, so please in advance forgive us for any really anything and everything that we may say or do. I think that's fair.
Reasonable. Yes. Yes. I like that.
Right? Reasonable.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, Leora went through the trouble of creating this amazing document, really outlining everything. So, Leora, I would love for you to just take it away. Lead the way, my friend.
All right. Okay. Ladies and and
Ladies and
gentlemen.
gentlemen of the tone.
Exactly. You knew where I was going. It's season 4, part 2 of Bridgerton. It just dropped literally yesterday, and Britt and I binged it and we went through everything, and we are here with spoilers. So if you haven't watched, you may just want to kind of plug your ears when we start kind of getting into each of the episodes. But before we do that, I kind of want to take a little bit of a step back and think about season 4 in its entirety, because what was the promise of season 4? This is the Cinderella season, right? And what
Hmm.
were we expecting out of this? Of course, it's Bridgerton. We're expecting a fabulous love story, and I feel like it absolutely delivered, and I'll tell you why. But first, I want to hear from you, Britt. Do you think this season delivered?
And I'll tell you why. Oh, it delivered. It delivered everything and more. I loved it. You know that. I thought it was so good. Sometimes the writing can fall off in different shows, but I felt like it was strong all the way through. I loved like all the little things like it was like every step of the way. I was like screaming when Sophie finally told Benedict like everything. I was like, thank God. And sometimes like other shows will skip over all that, but they really like gave us the full layout of everything. We got to see the revenge plot. I mean, oh, I thought it was good. What about you?
Oh, yeah. So I think for me, from start to finish, I 100% agree. And there were just so many points that I want to get into. But I also want to talk about romance. I think as a category, as a genre, you already know I'm heated rivalry obsessed. And then there's shows like Love is Blind that are huge. And of course, our beloved Bridgerton. But I feel like there's so much coming out in the romance genre, like things that have to do with love and relationships, whether they're rom-coms or serious dramas like you were talking about, like love really is playing a big role. And I was curious your thoughts, because I feel like, is it just me? Is it just my interest? Are we coming out of Valentine's Day, or is there something maybe in the stars happening?
Ooh, Leora, that is such an amazing question. Oh my gosh. Well, I will say this. Venus is currently in Pisces through like the very beginning of March. And I will say, Pisces is the dreamiest sign. It's where your Mercury is, which is why I think you also just are able to speak so poetically and write your articles in such a poetic way. But Pisces is like, just it's a perfect place for Venus to be. Venus is exalted there. So definitely when Venus is transiting through Pisces, it kind of just gives us all a little bit of rose-colored glasses. So that might be part of it. And then I also think that the rest of the world and like things going on in the news, it's like everything feels very harsh. So I also feel like we tend to gravitate towards romance and art during difficult times. So that's another layer I think of it. But I'm loving that we have all this romantic storytelling coming out.
Yeah, yeah, I love a good bit of escapism that really draws you out and takes you to another time and place, right? You know?
Yes. And how excited are you that Heated Rivalry is getting a season 2?
I don't know. I'll be more excited when season 3 is officially confirmed. Rachel
Wait,
Reed's new book is
what?
completed. Yeah, because Rachel Reed, the author of Heated Rivalry and the Game Changers series, she is writing a new book because it was supposed to end with the story of Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov. Heated Rivalry was the first story in the Game Changers series, and then their second book was The Long Game, and the story was supposed to end there. But now Rachel Reed, the author, is writing an additional book. So for me, that sounds like a season 3. But it came out that the completion of that book would be delayed. She does suffer, I believe, from MS. So I
Oh
think it
my
was due to her
gosh.
illness. Yeah, yeah. So
That's tough.
hopefully she is able to write a beautiful story and complete it, and it'll be part of a season 3 maybe. Or who knows? I mean, I would be happy with infinite seasons at this point. I can't get enough.
Right? She wants infinite seasons. Um,
Yeah.
and all of the hotheads out there with LeAura, I'm sure they join you in that.
I think so. I think so. I mean, you have no idea how many rabbit holes I've gone down, especially on TikTok, and all of it's such an interesting creative fandom with the art that's created around it, and then the fanfics, and even, people recreating the characters like in Sims. And
Oh
yeah,
my.
it's wild. So if you know, you
It's
know, but you can see what I repost on TikTok. So
it's got a life of its own.
it
So
really
I
does.
am
It
gonna
really
watch
does.
Heated Rivalry. I am. But I'm probably gonna
Okay.
watch it straight through like I did with Bridgerton. But right now I'm
Yeah.
finishing Peaky Blinders before the movie comes out March
Oh,
6th.
so good. Oh my goodness. I might have
Obsessed.
to do
We're on
a
season
rewatch of
3.
that. Ooh,
Yeah,
okay. Okay.
I
Yeah.
would. I'm obsessed. It's so good. So we're actually gonna watch it later tonight. Like, and we just watch episode after episode. We've been staying up way too late in this house watching
Yeah.
it.
It gets you. It really sucks you
It's
in. I mean,
hard to stop.
yeah. I mean, all the actors are great.
Yeah,
Killian Murphy is
amazing.
incredible. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. I mean,
So
not
good.
not necessarily in the romance genre, but still.
No, definitely not in the romance genre, but that's okay. Sometimes it's like I like a good, thriller, gritty type of show too.
Yeah, I mean, the other shows, speaking of not romance, I also am loving Industry, not romance at all. More of a
Ooh,
I think it's under the
I haven't
thriller
seen it.
category. It's really intense, and I feel like it's in
Industry.
its 4th season on HBO. So when you finish with your binge of Heated Rivalry, you can move on over to Industry.
Hmm.
I
Okay,
don't
I'm
think
making
that's
a
like
list.
it's not the best transition, but it's on the same streaming site.
It's
So
gonna be abrupt.
a little bit, yeah. Just think like British finance, fraud, insider trading,
Ooh,
yeah, all
ooh,
that
I
kind
like
of
it.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is very up my alley. I find that I get very into like the romantic movies and the other stuff, and it like affects me and I cry and it's just like too much. So I think that's why I gravitate towards those type of shows.
Actually, another show that I wanted to mention that's in the love genre is Love Story, with the story of Ryan Murphy on Hulu. It's the John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette, their love story.
Oh.
And it's a fictionalized version of, a real people, but like there's just a lot. So it's very much of its time, and it's very
Ooh.
interesting. And I feel like the family has spoken, has feelings about it, but it's very much it's very, I don't know, it's very interesting, and it really does draw you in, though. I have a lot of strong feelings about that one too. But
Oh,
I
I want
think
to
it's
see
really,
that. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Those are
yeah.
our
So there's
recommendations, or
there's a
LeAura's
lot.
recommendations.
Just in case where you are, there's a blizzard. You can watch a lot of stuff.
Yes, there's a lot of things that you can do to pass the time. Oh, I love that. Okay. Oh my gosh, I need to watch Love Story because I am very fascinated by them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think you would enjoy it.
Okay, good. All right, so lots to look forward to. I love that we're getting
Yeah.
good television and
Yeah,
good
there's so
movies
much
to
so much
really
good
dive into.
TV. Yeah.
So
I feel
much.
like I'm so focused on these stream series on streaming like right now, because there's just so much good stuff out there, and it's been really gross weather in New York City, and I can't wear this dress outside, so here we are.
I love it. I love it. She's bringing the sunshine to New York in that dress.
I'm
Oh, there's one
trying.
more I need to mention.
Yes.
The Recruit on Netflix. The new season just
Ooh.
started. Any Recruit fans out there? I love the first season,
Okay.
and we've been waiting years for this, and it's finally out. So The Recruit, you guys, we got to watch that too. We have a lot to
I'm
do. We're
Yeah,
busy.
we all have to get caught up and meet back here
We do.
soon, because there's a lot going
Some
on.
people some people have a book club. We have like a movie and show club around here.
Kind of. Yeah, so yeah, back to Bridgerton, right? So
Back to Bridgerton.
this season, our love story follows Sophie Beck, and of
Mhm.
course Benedict Bridgerton, and they're front and center from the start. I went back and rewatched season 4, episode 1, and just kind of wanted to see how they, introed us to the characters. And of course, we know Sophie is a maid, and we
Yeah.
know, of course, Benedict is, a nobleman, and he is, the upper crust of the society of the town.
Mhm.
And he's a bit of a rake, right? We talked about that
Yes.
last time.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Mhm. He
Yeah.
is.
So he enjoys debaucherous nights, and coming home late, and he feels almost as if he has no maybe less pressure, as he's the second born. He's not the firstborn, so he's not even the spare, because now a new baby is born, and he is no longer even the spare, so he is just
That's right.
living his best life, or is he?
Or
So
is he? Hmm.
yes. So basically we see, when he's introduced to us basically as the protagonist this season. Thought it was really interesting. I looked back, and I have to pull up my notes for this, but you have you have his mother, Violet, Lady Bridgerton, basically kind of looking for him, because they have to get ready for this ball where all the things will unfold, as we now know. But basically she goes in, and she's got to kind of draw the open up the shades basically, and say, why are you still in bed? And I thought it
Yeah.
was very, very interesting. The conversations that they were having were very, I feel like, pretty frank for the time. And I feel like that was the thing that I appreciated about Benedict in kind of setting up the whole season, looking, having gone through all 8 episodes and now looking back at season 1. So there's something that stood out to me when he said, speaking to his mother, basically talking about his brother. Anthony is the Viscount. His reputation secures the Bridgerton name. I am merely a second son who must also marry
Mhm.
someday, who will need the approval of a father of an eligible young lady. And this is his mother speaking to him, which requires you to be a gentleman and not a rake. And then
Mhm. Yes.
he clutches his pearls, and he's like, language, mother. And basically he kind of pushes back and just says, I am charting a more venturesome course outside good society. In doing so,
Mhm.
I'm being true to myself. Is that not the point? So I thought that was
Ooh.
literally, I mean, that's the story from the start. He is choosing a life possibly outside of society, what that means, I mean, I think by the end, by maybe episode 7, he doesn't realize exactly what that means, because I think for him,
Mhm.
he thinks he can have his cake and eat it too. Like, he may be able to have a life with Sophie that's in the countryside, but also at the same time, he'll kind of come back into the town and do all of the, things a gentleman would do. But then, later in the episodes, he has another conversation, and it's like, no, no, no. It's either love or your family. Like, this is not going to be accepted in society. So it's he's not fully aware of what he may be taking on, but that initial conversation with his mother really, I think, really outlined things. What do you think, Britt?
I feel like the way that part 2 opened with, like, of course, okay, so when part 2 opens, it's like we just finished part 1, where at the end, Benedict, like you said, who was kind of in
Oh,
that having your cake, eating it too sort of headspace, or he just didn't, I feel like he didn't really understand. He hadn't thought it through all the way as well. I feel like he didn't go deep enough yet with it. He was kind of acting on instinct and passion. And he made an indecent proposal to Sophie at the end of part 1 and basically said, "Will you be my mistress?" She, like, obviously runs off. She's not about that because she's a romantic at heart and she wants love and, the whole thing. She doesn't want to repeat the mistakes of, her family lineage and, like, repeat what her mom did. It's, like, very deep for her, right? So I actually put this in my notes because I was like, "Oh, that is so interesting." Benedict was hanging out with his buddies, and one of his friends said, "How can she trust you to navigate a complicated life if she cannot trust you to navigate her feelings?" And I was like, that is so
ooh.
good. That's such a good point. And he suggested that Benedict tell her that he wishes that he could be with her legitimately. And then he said it's about the gesture. So that was interesting because I was like, about the gesture. Is he like giving him a little lesson? Is he saying to be honest? So at this point, I still was kind of feeling Benedict out. Like at the beginning of part 2, I was wondering, like, is he actually willing and able to put his neck out there, or does he just want a mistress in the shadows? So, and then when his friend said that, I was like, okay, we're about to find out. Like, we'll see where he goes from here. So I thought that
Yeah.
was an interesting layer. A
Oh,
lot of
yeah, that's
suspense was building for me there. I was like,
such a good point, because that's like the acceptable thing to do in society. Yes, you have your marriage,
hmm
but you have your mistress, and it's maybe not maybe sort of frowned upon, but without you need to be discreet, but also because we see that also with our friend Penelope, Lady Whistledown, as she reveals a mistress kind of anonymously, but it's still, I guess it seems obvious to everyone later in the season, and she has some moral qualms about that, and doesn't feel comfortable with that, and tries to sort of correct that, and doesn't really want that position as Lady Whistledown, almost as a result of that, among other things as well.
Well, I have a question for you on that because I felt like with Whistledown and with what she was going through, it's sort of like what modern journalists go through, except set back in, the time of Bridgerton. And as a journalist yourself, you've been a journalist for many years. Do you ever feel any pressure, like when you make friends with people, or you have colleagues that, or people who brands are like sending you things, trying to court you to get you to say certain, not get you to say certain things, but when you're a journalist, there are people you can tell they would love to get a glowing recommendation. So it feels like that was almost like an influencer or a journalist back, except back in that timing. And she was really struggling with it and feeling torn. Have you experienced that yourself as a journalist?
That is an excellent framework to put on that, because thinking about that, you're thinking of somebody who's writing and is sort of like an OG gossip columnist, maybe an influencer, maybe somebody who spills tea and shares all of those insights, gets those whisperings, because when she started as Lady Whistledown, she was a fly on the wall, so she was an outsider, and now she's very much an insider, and
Yes.
that also changes things too. So it's like when you are maybe kind of
Mhm.
coming up, whether you're an influencer, a journalist, you're just trying to see if you can get a foot in the door. So you might be able to, you might try to do a little bit more than maybe you would want to, but then once, in this case, she was her persona was her pen name literally, kept her identity hidden. But once she was
Mm-hmm.
known, then that also really changed the game in addition to her new station in life. So to answer your question, personally, of
Totally.
course, personally, I love to be courted. But
Send her merch.
as a journalist, someone in media, a content creator, it is challenging. And you do see that because yes, there is pressure. If somebody is sending you products, they sometimes there is that expectation of the brand that, oh, well, I'm going to, plant this, in this case, it's gossip. So it's not the same parallel, but we can talk about gossip columnists as well. But yeah, I mean, there definitely can be
It's
that pressure
tough.
to sort of make those modifications or those considerations, not modifications. Basically, if you need to be if you want to consider something, it's like, of course, people want to be shown in the best light possible. For
Mm-hmm.
example, back in episode 1 of season 4, when Penelope is at the masquerade ball, and the funny thing with masquerade ball is everybody's like identity is kind of obscured, but also
Right.
not at all. And everybody knows
Mm-hmm.
it's her, and everybody's trying to come up to her because, whether they want to be the diamond or they want to be introduced to somebody or they want to be in Whistledown. Like, you have people with all these agendas coming up to her. So I can imagine, as somebody who kind of dabbles in more gossip, I think that is really interesting too. And I think it kind of mirrors at least how I feel personally, but also like where we are, I think, with the shift in media, especially around like celebrities or even royalty and gossip and news and reporting. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's very interesting too, because, again, when Penelope was the outsider looking in and maybe also trying to get inside access, her perspective was very different. And when she was inside, I feel like she felt maybe more empathy, but also became too much. It became not just too much pressure, but it, just didn't feel right. It seemed morally to her. She seemed very conflicted by it. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if that's my own personal projection or that's kind of mirrors
I think
where we're
I
going.
see it. I see it. I think you're right. Like you're right on it. And when you are a journalist and you're trying to do different stories and you're gathering information and whistleblowers, you're trying to keep things anonymous and there is like a dance that you have to do and it can be really difficult, which is why you really never want to get too close to your subjects. You really want to be friendly, but you have to stay detached in order to uh, be a really truthful journalist or I guess a gossip columnist. But yeah, I mean, you're a human being. And so there is always that moral qualm, I'm sure, because once you get to know someone, you have empathy for them. And it's just hard to have that straight facts or straight gossip mindset. So it was interesting to see her struggle with that. It actually made me love her more because I was like, oh, she has such a good heart. She really does.
Yeah, yeah, you can definitely see
Hmm.
that. I really like that was, I thought the whole kind of process of it was like her. I mean, that was her a storyline, her kind of going to speak with the queen and, how will the queen react and pushing back, and how do you push back with the queen?
Yes.
Like that's a very interesting dynamic as well.
I thought that she was not I really didn't think she was gonna let her quit. Like, I thought that was gonna be it. She was gonna force her to
Yeah.
do it and, like,
Yeah.
continue
Yeah.
to be
Like
whistled
whether,
down for seasons
yeah.
to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
So,
it. No one else
the
can
queen
cover.
surprised me. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Her story arc
she
was interesting.
yeah, her story arc has been interesting as well. I think that her connection with Lady Danbury and also, kind of letting
Yes.
her do her own thing, giving her the freedom, but also, I feel like that is, I don't know, someone in that station. That's also something that's very interesting that I thought was interesting to see that push pull in their relationship. But
Mhm.
yeah. Any highlights that stood out for you? Because I'm looking at my notes and I'm looking at my I have my quill for my notes. So
Yes, yes.
looking at
Okay.
episode 5, I don't know if there was anything that stood out to you from that.
Ooh, I wish I would have been half as organized as you were. I just had my note my notepad in front of me while I was watching it. I would just be like, "Ooh," like jot down stuff while I was watching. I should have labeled it by episode. I didn't.
That's
So,
okay.
this is more towards the beginning though.
Okay.
So, when Michaela first so she first showed up in part 1, but we just saw her kind of briefly. We didn't really understand what the dynamic was. And then in part 2, we start to understand more about what's going on here. But in the very beginning of part 2, I did write down some questions because I was like, what's going on here? So I didn't know who she was at first. So I wrote down, like, is this a brother or sister thing? And then why doesn't he want to introduce her to Min and says that she's like committed to spinsterhood? But his wife is wanting to introduce her to other people. And there's a weird, like, then the wife feels a little bit Fran, right? Her name's Francesca.
Yes, Francesca.
Yes, Francesca. She feels so I was trying to figure out what's going on because she seemed a little bit like threatened in a way by the situation. So I was like, is it because they're cousins and back then cousins would marry each other? Does she think that they might be in love? Like, I was really trying to figure out
I didn't
what's
even think of
going
that.
on.
That actually
But by
does
the
make
time
sense, but
well, I was
I
just
didn't
so
thi I
confused. I'm like, I don't know what is happening. They built the suspense up for sure. And then I loved how the two women became friends. But then at the end, they left us on a cliffhanger. And now I'm wondering, will they be more than friends? Because there
Right.
was a lingering glance, and then Michaela left in the
Mhm.
night. And when somebody leaves
Immediately.
in the night on Bridgerton, something, some drama's about to
You're
happen.
the only reason you leave in the middle of the night is due to intense feelings of love that overcome you so much you need to flee the
Exactly.
scene immediately. That's it.
100%. 100%. So she's in love with someone. It's some sort of forbidden love, which I love that. So yeah,
Yeah.
she's done the Bridgerton, the Telltale. She's given us the sign.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. Just
So I
flee
noticed
in the
that.
scene into the night. Yes. Okay.
I also really enjoyed that Sophie found all of the drawings that Benedict made of her while she was cleaning.
Yes.
Because I was like,
Oh my
okay, she's starting to
goodness.
see that the love is
Yeah.
real.
Right.
Yes, they built it up.
Because
They were giving us
I re
crumbs.
so I really like that because, his words are his words. He's a nobleman, he's well educated, he's, he has a mastery of, just prose, and he speaks quite poetically and expresses himself very well. Whether you like it or not, as I see one of the comments is talking about how he did yell at Lady Violet at his
I didn't
mom.
like that either.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't like that
He was
either.
losing
Yelling at
it
your mom, you are still your mother's son, and you should not be
to a
speaking to her
gentleman.
like that. And a gentleman.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
I
Come
didn't
on.
like that.
He was losing
Yes,
it.
exactly. He was, and it was just like, you're not acting. It's very unbecoming. You forget
Very
you forget
unbecoming.
yourself. You forget yourself,
And your
Benedict.
station, sir.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
exactly.
um,
Um,
okay, I forgot to say the rest of what I
oh,
wrote down
sorry.
about when she found no, it's okay. I didn't even realize it 'cause it's on the next page. So she finds the drawings, right? And then she says, I thought this was great. She goes, "Who is this woman? Do you have feelings for her?" Sophie. I was like, "Oh, she's trying to get the tea. She wants to know what
Right,
he'll say about the silver lady." And
right.
he says, "I did until I met you." Oh, I was like goosebumps because he loved her as the
Yeah.
silver lady and as herself. I was like, "Okay, that's what
And
we needed
and
to
her
hear."
and herself in this
Oh,
context is the maid. So,
it
yeah.
was perfect.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
perfect. I love that.
Yeah,
So that
but
was a good one. What about you? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I did love that. I did love all of that, but I just also feel like, Sophie has to, like, have her walls up because I'm sure it would be so easy to fall in love
Sure.
if somebody's like, "Oh, this is someone I love, and until I met you, and now I love you," but it's like, well, if you can't love in the open, then, it's conditional. And like, here I go drawing analogies to heated rivalry again. So
New series, LeAura reacts to heated rivalry.
yeah,
Seriously, go over to
based on
LeAura's channel for that.
based on everything
We're
that
gonna
I'm
pressure
watching.
you.
Oh my
We're
God.
gonna pressure you into it.
But I thought it was one of those things where, I feel like she's rightfully very hesitant, very guarded, and has her walls up around him, and is hearing what he's saying, but also looking for his actions as well. Because, his initial solution at the end, like we discussed at the end of part 1, so at the end of episode 4 of season 4, episode 4, he's like, will you be my mistress? And he thinks it's the greatest thing. And it's like, she's like, no, I gotta go because I have plans. And, she does not talk to him until, we see them in episode 5. But still, it's
and
one
she
of those
ends up
things.
getting it all. She ends up getting the whole problem solved of her dowry, getting to the bottom of the whole situation, winds up a Mrs. Bridgerton. Like, so, just goes to show you, always hold out for the whole thing. Don't ever settle for less than what you deserve. Because if she would have said yes to the mistress thing, she would have never found out the truth about that her father really did, care about her. And I mean, put her in the will. That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing.
And that's the whole thing with Sophie and her character. She understands and accepts that she's a maid, but she knows her worth. She's not going to accept this. She knows she accepts much better than that. And she doesn't maybe know how it's going to roll out, but she knows that what it was being offered to her was unacceptable. Now, I want to just change the topic a little bit and get into Lady Aramenta, our dear favorite villain. Now,
the worst villain I've seen in a long time.
Can I ask you a question, Britt? How many shoe clips do you have?
Not a one. And you?
I don't think I have any shoe clips. Like, maybe I have old clip-on earrings that I could use as shoe clips, but I don't really know. And the fact that
certainly
not 37. Yeah.
Oh, no, I was going to say, and certainly not made of cheap paste.
Right. Exactly. So thought it was very interesting that Lady Aramenta is worried about a pair of shoe clips. But of course, we knew that this would be, basically more symbolic and a plot to accuse Sophie of theft and then get her jailed. Spoiler alert, by, that second to last episode, get her thrown in jail over a pair of shoe clips mostly, but then also because she snuck into the masquerade ball impersonating nobility, so she was not supposed to be there. So, and the sentence could have been a lifelong hard labor, as a result. So Lady Aramenta,
life at best,
really,
the jailer
at
said.
Best,
at best,
yes,
meaning
at
she
best.
could have been hanged.
Yeah,
Aramenta wanted her neck.
Yeah, literally,
I was so mad.
She was gunning for her and did not stop. Like, even though she was supposed to go off to the Americas, this new place everybody's talking about, she would not let well enough alone. She wasn't like, okay, bye, whatever. She's not harming us.
Like a normal person.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, haven't you taken enough? I mean, and she knows the truth. She knows that she was supposed to take care of her. I mean, how evil can you be? And they tried to give her little sob story where she's like, I was said to. I'm sorry, no excuse. I didn't feel empathy for her at all. You've gone too far.
I didn't feel empathy for her. I just felt like, okay, you were a single mom and you didn't know. Like, it was a really weird spin, and it was bad. It was a bad PR spin. It was just not.
It was bad.
Not great.
She was trying.
Yeah. So,
and then not only that, literally, and with her name, Aramenta Gun. It suits her. But then she showed up to the jail. And she had that mean look on her face and just was sort of like, she said, this will not go well for you. Like, okay, now you're going to rub it in her face. Like, oh my God. Like, she's possibly going to be in jail for life or hung. And you're just like rubbing it in. Like, I mean, this woman
Yeah.
has no scruples. Not
Yeah.
a one.
I didn't know
She
what
was
she
the
was
worst.
hoping. Yeah, I didn't know what she was hoping
Cold.
to do. I mean, obviously, like we're this is a Cinderella season and we have an evil stepmother. And I mean, she
Mm-hmm.
really put the evil in
They
stepmother in this
the
case.
writing, yes. The writing certainly developed her into just the most despicable villain.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
when all of that was unfolding, though, I literally was brought to tears by Posey. It makes me so much. I'm also like on my period, so disclaimer. But I'm gonna cry right
That
now
doesn't
thinking about
change
it.
things for me.
Okay, all right. Well, we're all
With
in
or
good company here
without,
then.
yeah, with
With
or
or without,
without,
we
I'm
will cry.
crying.
We will cry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I love that about you, LeAura. I love it about you. Pisces Mercury, the way you think, heartfelt.
Oh,
It's true. So when Posey, she like sneaks out, jumps out the window, like does all this stuff, finds Sophie. She's like, it was exhilarating. And then she tells her, like, she says, I could not have survived in that house without you. And like, I'm so sorry. And just tells her that she's like the strongest, most courageous person that she knows. I was like, that is so, like, it was so sweet. Posey really is just such a gem, and she grew up with the most horrible mother, and she's still just like such a kind soul. And for Sophie to get to hear that from her, you could tell it like meant a lot. So I love
yeah.
that that was put in there. They didn't like the writing, they didn't skip over that relationship between Posey and Sophie. That was really sweet. I love
That
that
was
part.
very that was very endearing, and it also
It
goes
was.
to show you that if a teen says they're going to be reading in their room all afternoon, do not believe them. Check up once or
They're
twice.
they're jumping out the window. Yeah, they're gone. Okay, they're gone. But she's sweet. I like her a lot. So that was
Yeah.
cute. What did you think of the story arc with Lady Bridgerton and her man? I was a little confused, sort of, about how that was developing. Like, I
Mhm,
thought that they
mhm.
would really end up together. Spoiler alert.
I mean, also, we'll see, I don't, I'm not ruling out love, but maybe it's just a matter of timing. But
Hmm.
I do like the fact that I think a lot of things really I think I think a lot of things really, pivoted, not pivoted, but things were really brought to a head around Lord John Sterling's funeral and his death. I think that impacted a lot of people, and they started making different decisions, or decisions. When you're faced with how much time we have left on this planet as humans. That kind of our
Hmm.
mortality kind of just walks right up to us when someone beloved passes. It's
Yeah.
time to maybe take a different course of action and make some maybe more definitive decisions. So I did like the fact that she was honest, and then was like, well, maybe not right now, maybe we need to walk it back, I don't know, why can't we just kind of do what we're doing, in that way. But also at the same time, for him to just kind of say, that's not going to work for me. I thought that was a really beautiful expression of boundaries. It's not comfortable. It's
Mm-hmm.
definitely, there's definitely love there, right? I think love, mutual respect.
For sure.
They both lost spouses that they think of, and so I think they're very considerate of one another, but also,
Same.
when you know, and if it's
Hmm.
not, if you're not aligned, then that's the best thing you can do, have honest conversations. And that's what I love so much about the show. There is a lot of, I'd like to say, kind of like romantic hijinks, like especially like how long was it going to take Benedict to figure out that, the woman in
I know.
silver
It
is,
was killing
oh
me.
my
It was
gosh. I'm
killing
like,
me.
really? You're drawing her and you don't get like, you
You
have
can't
no clue,
see the
like, really?
resemblance with yeah,
But at the same time, when there is communication, it does move the plot along, even if it's miscommunication.
for sure. For
So
sure.
I do love that, and that's why it's a
Mm,
fantasy, and that's why it's romance.
I do too. Oh, and I love the way you said that. There's that realistic, beautiful part, like you said, with the communication and the boundaries and the understanding. Like that's actually more down to earth and a good example of what that looks like. So I agree. I thought that was great. Lauren A says, I want Violet to get it on and play the field.
Ooh,
Yes,
maybe she
Lauren.
can be, I mean, I know
She's
she can't.
voting for Violet playing the field.
I love it. Maybe she can't be the diamond of next season, but maybe there's some other sort of maybe she can be a
The
crystal. I
emerald.
don't know.
Yeah.
An emerald, sure, a
The
sapphire,
ruby.
who knows? Yes.
Yeah. Give her something.
Something like that.
Um,
Yeah.
hey Alex. How's it going? Alex says hi. Oh, and hi Whitney.
Hi.
Love you too. Have fun at work tonight. Let me know what you think when you watch it later. Big hugs. Okay. Just wanted to say hi. Um, a couple other things, LeAura.
Yes.
So, I kind of maybe I don't want to go back. Never mind. I don't want to go backwards. I wrote down a lot more. I wrote down a lot more about
So many
Aramenta's.
notes.
Yeah,
Her
so many
evil
notes. And we're
plan.
not even getting to all of it.
No,
Yeah,
no,
and we're
there's
like
so
skimming the
much.
surface. There
Yeah,
was so much happening,
there I know, and I
which I
literally
love that
before
about Bridgerton.
yeah, before we hopped on, I was actually watching episode 7 again because I was actually trying to make sure I didn't miss anything because there's always something like you kind of look away for a second, you might pick up your phone and you're like, "Wait, did I miss that? Was
Right.
that an Easter egg that I was supposed to catch?" So I feel like
I know.
that's the nice thing about Bridgerton or any show that you might rewatch, Heated Rivalry, for example, over and over again and see new things every time. So there's
Right,
always
just
that.
rewatch. You might have
Just
missed something.
rewatch. Yes, exactly. So reheat your tea,
Reheat
reheat
it.
any of your shows. That's what I say. But yeah,
Okay.
let's see. So where did we leave off plot wise? I think we're kind of like oh
Sophie being
gosh, we did.
confronted in the jail.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. We're nearing the end. Yes, over shoe
We are
clips and
nearing the
an
end.
impersonation of
I love
yes,
that they threw in that little snark that they were that the shoe clips were just paste, cheap paste. They
yes.
weren't even
Yes.
diamonds. I love that. Yes. Just give little Araminta a smack. Um, Benedict, okay, so I thought that this was great what Benedict said to Sophie when they ended up having a conversation about everything. Um, about the will, he said, "Did you see this will for yourself? What reason would you have to believe her about your father?" I was like, finally.
Right.
Finally, yes,
Right.
and she was like, "Oh, okay," and it was so sad, but to your point about the communication and how it's really shown beautifully in this show, she ends up telling him everything. It was a great talk, and I was like, "Oh, finally, finally," because now he'll understand who she is, where she's coming from, why she's been acting
Mhm.
this way, so that was a cathartic scene. I was
Yeah.
just glad they
Yeah.
got it on the table. Just put it out
Yeah,
there.
she was open, she was vulnerable, and she just put everything out there and, I mean, literally she's fighting for her life at this point and has
Yeah, literally.
nothing to lose but everything. So, why not put
Mhm.
it all out there?
Exactly. Why not? And I think that's just a good practice for life. You know,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
a lot of the time people will hold things close to their vest, but then like you don't give other people a chance to show up for you. And not everybody will, but some people will. Your people will. So sometimes you got to
Yeah.
open up and let
Yeah.
people have the chance. That's
Yeah.
lessons for life too.
Oh,
Thanks,
absolutely. And
Shonda
I
Rhimes.
yeah, oh, yes, always. Thank you. Thank
So
you,
good.
Shonda. Yes.
Yes, thank you for that. Um, okay, what did you think about the way that Benedict and his mother showed up in court?
Of course, down to the wire. I feel like the judge was
I
about
loved
to
it.
bang a
Yeah,
gavel and
yeah.
burst through the doors of the court to say, wait, you must release her into our custody and she's not wrong. And, and just starting to present facts that make more sense than just a maid who would steal, who is in this woman's care, Lady Aramenta, that is, kind of, but
Mhm.
also she was made to be a maid, and then, then she stole shoe clips and then went to a masquerade ball. I mean, those are some strange allegations, and like a crime that they immediately offered, hey, what if we paid for these shoe clips? And Lady Aramenta again just was like, no, that is not enough. I mean, she refused. There would be nothing to satisfy her other than Sophie's demise, which is just absolutely cruel. I
Right.
don't even think the evil stepmother was that hung up on Cinderella. Like,
No, I don't think so. I
so
mean, she was worse than
yeah,
Cinderella's stepmother. I mean,
yeah.
and I feel like when we got to see the courtroom scene and, Lady Bridgerton is saying, I think she said, I'll pay you for them. I will, like, she's
Mhm.
trying to find solutions. And it becomes very clear that Araminta does not want solutions. She wants her, like, jailed forever or dead. And I was so glad that those colors were on full display, because if Benedict and, his mom had any doubts in the back of their mind, I think that they finally had full clarity. Because they're
Right,
like, "Oh, this
right.
woman viciously wants to take Sophie down."
Yeah, yeah, it was very strange. So they end up
Mhm.
the court session ends up at a stalemate, and basically the judge does agree to let Sophie be released into the Bridgertons' custody and until this is resolved, and basically says, "Hey, you guys need to settle this. Otherwise, it's coming back to court."
It's
So
coming back. Mhm.
they are basically at a stalemate at this point, and however, I think it's really lovely for Sophie to see all of the support she has in the Bridgertons, and
Yeah.
she goes back to, the Bridgerton home, the Bridgerton manor, and instead of going to her maid's quarters, she is treated like a guest. So she gets a guest room and is treated as such.
And things start really coming together from there. They
Yeah,
quickly
yeah.
start putting together the pieces. I also liked the hijinks of kind of breaking in semi, um, going and finding the will in Lord
Right.
Penwood's desk.
Yes.
Did they ever show the new Lord Penwood or the other Lord Penwood? I don't think they ever showed him.
Great question. I cannot recall
I
right
don't
now.
remember seeing him.
I'm sure somebody in this chat is probably going to be like, "Yeah, obviously they did," or being like, "No, that was the whole point." I don't know. Someone's
Oh,
probably
okay. I
yelling.
don't know.
I
If they
don't
did, let us
remember.
know.
Now
I
I'm
don't
like,
think I saw it.
I don't remember. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was really interesting. Well, I was of
Mhm.
course ready for something a little steamier.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So after, the paperwork was dealt with, there was, of course, a footman outside of their door. Yes, I'm seeing in the comments. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Of course
Oh,
they
they did?
did. Yes.
Oh, hi,
I
Nelly.
think
How's it going? Okay,
I
thanks,
think
Nelly.
I don't
I
remember if
missed
it was
that.
that episode or the episode before. I don't know. I can't recall exactly.
I was doing
But
some
yeah,
housework on and off during Bridgerton, so maybe I missed maybe I was folding and I,
that's
like, didn't look,
you
wasn't
turned
looking
your
up.
head, you blinked, and that's it.
I missed it.
Don't think he was a huge part of it, but I also could be wrong. Yeah, so I think there was we get a basically finally that meeting where he reveals that he knows that she's the lady in silver after the pieces of his puzzle of
Yes.
figuring it out finally all come together for him, and he's like, "Oh,
Finally.
okay. Yeah, the lady in the
Oh,
paintings is also you.
God.
Got it. Okay." And
Oh,
then of
but
course,
then he said, he goes, "I thought that," something like, "But maybe you don't love me the way I thought you did, or else you would have told me the truth." I hated that. I was like, "What?
yeah,
No."
that was a
Okay, now are we gonna have a back and forth where he doesn't where he, like, and then, of course, next scene, they're, like, in the bathtub, so it was all fine, but
the
I was
bathtub.
scared for a second. That was a lot, but I was scared. Ooh, hello. I was like, "My god."
We
Like, is
had very
anybody
different reactions.
around here, LeAura. I was just surprised by, how steamy it got. Um,
Yeah.
what did you what did you think about that though? Do you like I wonder why they threw that in. Like he said,
I I think there's
I mean, I get
something
it, but
I think
it's
there's
like,
something with him that it's like the audience maybe needs to be reminded that he is very privileged and maybe forgets his station. You know, he literally forgets himself like, "Oh, why didn't you just tell me?" Like, duh. And it's like, "No, it doesn't work that
mhm,
way. I'm literally a maid and you're literally a nobleman at the head of this, household living
right.
here." And it's like that's not appropriate because as Violet says, Sophie is excellent. She's well educated and detail oriented to a fault. So she follows all the rules. She's obeying the rules. Okay, yes, she did sneak into that masquerade and she kind of technically, not really, but was given the shoe clips, but
She was given
sh-
the shoe clips.
she was given the shoe clips. I don't know if she ended up taking them. If you guys let me know, because I thought she put
She
them in, they were
did.
in the bag, and then I don't remember if the bag made it with her on the trip because in the carriage when
Oh, a
she
lot of people were saying that that was like a plot hole.
yeah, I didn't know
Like
if that I
people
don't
clocked
know
it that that
I
was like
didn't
a
know
weird
if
plot
that,
hole.
like, was part of the book, and I'm just like, "Wait, did we gloss over something?" Because, of course, she had to steal away in the night into a carriage and run off, with to my cottage, of course, but I didn't know if
Well,
she
she
had the
said
shoe
that
clips.
it turned out that they were cheap paste. So I
Right.
think that she went and she did try to sell them
Oh.
because Posey did give them to her. And
Right, right,
remember, she tried to return them, but then she was like afraid because she was like, oh, I just need to get out of here. Because like Arminta was so angry and like being so crazy and just kept kicking her out. And so she left and she did just end up taking them with her. She didn't want to take them, but she did. And
right,
then she said it turned out that they were just cheap paste. So she wasn't even able to sell them for anything to get by. So it was
right,
sort of
right.
like, Posey's gesture. I wondered why Posey didn't just say, I gave them to her. I kind of thought she would. I get that she was scared, but
Yeah,
she was brave
yeah.
enough to jump out of the window.
I
It's
mean,
complicated.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
complicated.
I mean,
She
the
sold
characters
them. Okay.
she did. Oh,
Nellie
well,
said
I
she
guess
sold
she
them. Probably didn't get much for them, but she did sell them, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. That's
Thanks,
very
Nellie.
interesting. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for filling in
Mm-hmm.
the plot holes that I don't know, you blink and
Yes,
you
for
miss
filling the
them
blanks.
sometimes. I was
So
just
true.
there were other things I was distracted by like that bathtub scene. So
Yes, like the bathtub scene.
I wasn't thinking about shoe clips at all at that
Yeah,
point.
shoe clips were definitely out of sight, out of mind at that point.
Exactly. Exactly.
I was surprised also by Anthony's reaction to it all. I thought he was
Yes.
quite the stick in the mud. And I thought,
Yes.
given his past, that he would be more understanding, especially because now Benedict's not even the spare. But Anthony was like not trying to help him figure it out at all. He just was like, I didn't like that. I was like,
Well,
Anthony,
I think
come on.
the judgment of others and the sense of like this propriety, like propriety of like, oh well, you have sisters who need to be married, so you can't bring that upon this house. That was sort of the worry and the concern for everybody. That's such a motivating factor of, kind of,
Right?
debuting, being eligible for marriage, right?
Hmm.
Whether you have Penelope considering her role as Lady Whistledown just because of, revealing a mistress, but also being concerned about people's lives and prospects for what the impact of that and what it'll do for families and their daughters prospects of marriage. But then also every other character, that is the motivation in the ton. It's like, well,
Hmm.
I have daughters that need to be married, so that was sort of the repeating theme over and over. That was the biggest concern that was kind of tied to what's socially acceptable or what would impact their chances of a good marriage for their daughters.
Mm-hmm. True. So he puts,
Yeah.
responsibility first,
Hmm.
which I get that with him being the oldest.
Despite his own his own
But
background. So
he
yeah.
couldn't have been a little more helpful. Couldn't you,
Yeah.
couldn't you have made up a
Very judge
lie? Helped him get a
very
ticket to the Americas? Something?
well.
I don't know. I was just like, have a little imagination, Anthony. But
Yeah.
he was very he's in a different headspace now. It seems like he
Yeah.
has his own
Yeah.
child. He has a lot to think about as like the head of the household. His
Right.
sisters, like you said, they're all kind of coming of age. Some are going through things. Like we didn't even get to the passing yet.
Right. Well,
That's another huge
Francesca,
thing.
yeah. Yeah. Well, Francesca is
There's a
now,
lot going on.
a young widow, and so
Mhm.
what are her chances for remarriage? But we have Lady Aramenta, who she remarried. So like these are the things that come up. Of course, this is life. This is the Tawn. This is Bridgerton.
Mhm.
So these are the most important things in society to our favorite characters here. So
Right. Right.
I think
It's the
that's
world they
very
live in.
interesting. So I wasn't as surprised by the judgment, because I feel like, you know, if you are maybe more discreet, then as long as you don't sort of bring shame to the family, or, air your dirty laundry, so to speak, as long as no one knows about it, what you're actually doing, not that big of a deal. Just don't impact the daughter's chances for marriage.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. Like, they could have
Mhm.
run away to the cottage,
Mhm.
don't tell anybody, and then
Yeah.
after some time has passed and everybody's been married, I don't know, they could show up and it's like, "Oh, this is lady so and so from some made up place." People used to do that back in the day.
Well, I mean,
Just
they kinda
saying.
did that they kinda did that anyway, like, big
They
spoiler
kinda
alert,
did.
I mean, the
Yeah.
queen is, like, laughing in their face, because they're like, "Oh, this is like, oh, yeah, she looks like that maid, that's just her cousin." Like, "What? What are you talking about? It's so weird." And the queen is like, "Ha, ha, ha," but loves it. She's eating it up. She's like,
She
"This is
loves
ridiculous
it.
and delicious. Ha, ha, ha. I'm laughing at all of you,
She
but
lives
whatever,
for the
sure."
entertainment. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
She's just bored. She's like,
Yeah.
"Spill the
Yeah.
tea."
She's like, "Oh, this is what you're
I
doing? Okay, sure."
And thank goodness. I was just glad at that point that it was all gonna work out. Like, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I don't even care." So there was that. I also thought that there was, like, a rare moment where we got to see the relationship, like, the queen's softer side. Did we already talk about this? I don't remember. But the queen's softer side when she was talking to Lady Danbury, and she was like they were laughing, and then she was like, "We do have so much fun together, don't we?" And then she got teary-eyed, and then she was like, "I command that this stop now," or something. And so I feel like we got to see that sometimes she will mask her vulnerabilities by making a command or something. Like, she kind of hides behind the
Sure.
power, and she might be a
Oh,
lot more sensitive than we think. Like, maybe she's not just a brat with power, she might be a very sensitive soul who uses that power as, like, a shield to try to protect herself. Like, I kinda got that feeling, and I was like, "Okay, the queen has some layers here."
yes. I love Queen Charlotte.
Maybe
She's
I
very
read into it too much, but
complicated.
I felt that.
No, I
Yeah.
love that, and it's a good reminder to go back, and that's another show you can stream, Queen Charlotte's spinoff, and
Oh, I need
yeah,
to watch that.
that's a
I need
great
to watch
one.
that.
It's so good. I just feel like, yes, you have moments of her not acting in her royal capacity, but her as a person as well, her as a friend. I think that was really nice to
Mhm.
be able to see behind that veil of, her regal status, and her, sitting from the throne, and, determining what people can and can't do, and, choosing the diamond for the season, and all of that, and just kind of being a person, even just for a fleeting moment.
Right, yeah, just kinda getting to be a person. It does seem like she has, like, a kind of a lonely life in a way,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think she just
Yeah,
doesn't
that
wanna lose
was
her friend.
And that was something oh my goodness, now I'm misplacing the characters, but Penelope was speaking with, oh my goodness, I'm totally blanking. Penelope was speaking with somebody and they were suggesting that the queen, that basically Lady Whistledown was her insight into the Ton, into the inner world
Yes.
that is
Yes.
Bridgerton. And that is her only way, because as a royal, as a queen, she can't access that because she can't be among her subjects. She is too removed from
Hmm.
that. So when Penelope finally speaks to her, she's like, "Oh, you must be, I understand. I can only imagine you must be feel very isolated, because now that I am no longer anonymous and have people coming up to me requesting that I, report the gossip, either don't report something or report something, that, it's very isolating." And she has empathy for the
Yep.
queen in that regard. And I thought that was a
Yep.
very interesting parallel for her to draw, but also way to speak to the queen and address the queen, about her role in that
Hmm.
position.
Yes. I like how she said, I'm going to, like, she said something like, I'm going to try to appeal to her better angels. I was like,
Yes.
ooh, I
Oh,
like that
yeah.
saying. I like that
That's a good
saying.
one. That's a
That
good
was really
one.
good. Hmm. And then what about Francesca? What did you think about that storyline? What did you think about Michaela? What did you think about how he just suddenly passed?
It was
What were your thoughts on all that?
heartbreaking. Obviously
It
so
was so sad.
heartbreaking. I mean, the way he passed, it was kind of off camera, but it was not off camera. I mean, you just see
Hmm.
Francesca's reaction, and
Hmm.
you know, it was one of those things where it was also so disappointing because, as they would say, she thought she was with child.
That
And
was horrible. That
yeah,
part
that
killed
was
me.
really, really
Hmm.
rough. But yeah, she also felt isolated because she felt that, if she didn't have children, she didn't give him anything. She didn't give her husband anything like
Yeah.
her mother did, with 8 children. She at
Right.
least has something. And
Right. Eight.
she
Shot
feels,
eight.
yeah, she feels, that she didn't have a child with him, that she hasn't given him anything. So that was just really sad and just really, really
So sad.
heartbreaking. And just the way they handled grief, I thought was really interesting too, because the way she had a service, a ceremony, and she was kind of hyper fixated on the small details of things, like, oh, we're running out of biscuits, and
Hmm.
then she's kind of taking it upon herself to serve people. And people are like, that's not what you do, we have people for that. And she just, I don't think, she was even aware she was grieving in that moment. And then I think even her mom
Hmm.
was worried that she wasn't grieving, but I think that's all part of grief. There's no one way to do it. There's no linear experience. There may be, stages of grief, but also at the same time, your reactions don't necessarily make sense. And I thought it was really beautiful when Sophie
Hmm.
kind of stepped in and took her aside and said, oh, kind of removed her before she maybe just started, breaking down into tears, and said, oh, let me fix your hair for you. And, kind of, stole her away from everything going on, and had a moment with her to kind of fix her hair, whether it needed it or not. I mean, you couldn't tell from the from the
Right.
scene, but just to give her a little bit of peace away from
A moment. Hmm.
all of the people. Because I think one of the conversations with Francesca and Michaela was that people are grieving, and you hear things. It's very hard because no one knows what to say. They're sorry for your loss, or
Right.
however they would say it in their time. I can't remember what it was that they were saying, but I think Michaela very aptly said, oh, it's like we're statues and people are just saying the same things to us. And Francesca says, no, they're being respectful, but at the same time, both things can absolutely be true. And I'm sure that can be a lot to
Hmm.
hear the same thing over and over. And if you've lost a loved one, and you can tell Francesca is just really feeling that so deeply, but as is Michaela in that way. And you're just sort of like, you're literally, you've lost somebody and you're also at a loss because none of it makes sense. And, you can tell her world is upside down. And she also
Yeah.
is dealing with, she has this incredible guilt also about, not having children with him, having difficulty with, conceiving. And, that was a big issue, earlier on. So it really came to a head. And, it was, I think, really done in, I feel like they explored the topic in a really interesting way that wasn't just kind of a plot device. You got to
Right.
explore the way she had a service, and then of course, and Benedict, he gave, I think, a beautiful speech. Not so much a formal eulogy, but again, he has a way with
Mhm.
words when he knows what he's talking about. He really
Right.
does. you know.
When he commits to it, yeah. And he
Yes.
knows what he
Yeah.
wants to say.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
agree. I agree. Yeah, it was really interesting and like you said, it was very sad, but it was also like I think a very realistic exploration of those
Yeah.
types of feelings, so beautifully done. I am interested to see what happens with her like next season. I've
Yeah.
heard rumors that season 5 will
Mhm.
be either about her
Yeah.
or about the other sister. What is the other sister's name? The one I know is an Aquarius. She definitely is. Eloise.
Oh, Eloise,
Mhm.
yes. Okay, okay, that's gonna be very
Maybe it'll be about
interesting.
both of them. I don't
It
know.
could be.
But
Yeah, there could be room
we
for
need our
both.
season 5.
We do. We do. I'm ready already.
Me too. So, yeah, I feel like those were a lot of the main things. Is there anything that we missed, Leora?
I'm just
Anything we
going
missed, you
over
guys?
I'm going over my notes. I know. Let us know in the comments. Was there something that we didn't touch upon that you wanted to talk about? Something that really stood out to you guys? Um Oh, I did love that relationship with Eloise and Hyacinth, and their, like, Eloise is again, it's that reaction to this death, like she's swearing off, love, because she was the one that was sort of like,
Oh, yeah.
Hyacinth was like, it seems like perfectly like poised, like from birth, like, okay, I'm gonna get married, let's go, can I do it sooner, how soon can it
Yeah,
happen?
she's giving
And then
Libra energy. Yeah.
yeah, and
She loves
and
love.
yes, and Eloise was the one who's like, I don't think that's for me, not really interested, I guess I have to. And it was interesting to see them speaking to one another and kind of being like 180 degrees from each other. So I feel like Eloise really softened
Mhm.
towards the idea of love and being open to it. And she kind of talked Hyacinth down from swearing off marriage entirely and all of that, because she really did a 180. She's like, if this is what it is, I don't want it. Your husband dies, and their father had passed. So she was like, this is not for me. So it was
Yeah,
sweet and a little heartbreaking, but it was nice to see the
it
sisters communicate
was.
in that way, and really, maybe, get to another stage in their relationship as young ladies.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, I agree. I forgot about that part. That was really a sweet conversation, and poor Hyacinth, yeah, she's so young, and you could tell she was just kind of traumatized by it all. Like, it
Yeah.
was just that was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, last thing that we did not talk about. Well, maybe there's more things, but
Yes. Oh, there's a few
this comes
more.
to mind, right? There's more things. There's always more, and I probably when I leave, I'm gonna be like, um, the older
Mm.
sister, the daughter of Aramenta. I am forgetting her name right now. The mean one,
Po-
the one that's just like her
oh,
mom,
oh, oh,
not
yes,
Posey.
not Posey. Now I'm forgetting too. Let me see if I have her. Oh my gosh. Who
But
is
she ends up finding a match that she really likes.
Yes.
And so when I'm
Yes.
watching that, I'm thinking like, okay, well, there's someone for everyone. And then at the end, when everything's all coming out, she finds out that her mother had doubled her dowry, taking what was supposed to be left for Sophie by her father in the will and combining it with the money that was left for her. And she asks her mother, she says, "Did you think that I needed 36,000 or whatever
Right.
it was.
Right. Double the
Um,
amount. Yeah.
yeah, did you think that's what I needed in order to, like, find a husband? And she's, like, hurt by that, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't even
Right.
think of that."
Right.
So it's like Posey's is still just the 18,000, but
Right.
she
And
doubled the
and
older
Rose
sisters because she was thinking
Rosamond. Rosamond.
Rosamond, thank you, Rosamond,
Yes.
yes.
Mhm.
So she was thinking, well, my daughter Rosamond's a prune like I am.
Yeah.
She's a mean
So
a mean little woman, so I'm
so
gonna
we've
need to
gotta
give her
sweeten that
extra
pot. Yeah.
dowry.
Yeah.
Sweeten
Yikes.
that pot. The apple did
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
fall far from that tree.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yeah, so that was kind of a funny little little thing. Okay, Lauren says not a huge plot point, but I loved how Colin mentored Gregory in the ways of love and guided him at
Oh,
the
yes.
recital. Oh, Lauren, how cute. Yes, good
Yes,
point.
that was a sweet
So
moment as
good.
well.
That was
Yes.
sweet.
Yes.
It was really
Yeah,
cute to see like their relationships developing and the friendship and all the little moments that we get to see in the show too. That was a good one.
yeah. Yeah, I
Leora,
think
what else do you think we missed?
I'm looking at my notes. We are, gosh, coming towards the end of it, right? But
We are. We are. So sad.
yeah, I loved the Queen's Ball honoring Lady Danbury and basically the Bridgertons smuggle Sophie in and they have that confrontation where they kind of lay everything out and they're like, okay, listen, Lady Aramenta, your crimes are way bigger. So you need to stop your nonsense and this is over. Okay. We're,
Mhm.
mutually assured destruction. So let's just both walk away
Totally.
and we're done with this. So I feel like reluctantly she had no choice but to agree with that. And
I
I
feel like that
think
was too good for her though,
yeah,
because
yeah,
she did
I
commit
do.
crimes, and she
Yeah.
could have gotten away with it and completely ruined Sophie's life. An
Oh,
innocent.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I think the phrase was, I wrote it down, to avoid mutual ruin, Violet proposed a mutually beneficial recount of events. So
Ooh.
that was the way that
Okay.
she put it. Yeah. Yeah. And then of course, with Alice and Queen Charlotte listening, Lady Aramenta was forced to agree that Sophie is Lady Sophie Gunn, a cousin of Lord Penwood. So the Queen again is like laughing at how ridiculous and fake this is, and she's like, "Okay, whatever, sure, a cousin,
Like,
likely
yeah,
story,
fine.
sure, sure."
I'll allow
So
it.
yeah, exactly, and then that lie kind of it takes away all the other issues of having Sophie and Benedict having to live in secrecy in the countryside or be holed up at my cottage forever. She is now a lady, an upper class person, and everything's fine. That's it. So
And everything's fine. And just like that, all it took was a
yeah,
change of station to
yeah.
show how ludicrous the rules are.
And one of my favorite things was, you have Sophie and you have Benedict, and they hear the gong at midnight of the clock, which again happened in season one, but when Sophie was
Oh.
masked, and they have it again, but then they dance in the last episode. And because she doesn't have to
Oh.
hide, because the significance of midnight in at the masquerade during episode one of season four was this is the time you reveal yourself. But now they
Hmm.
already know he finally knows who Sophie is, of course, the lady in silver, but they dance together at midnight instead of her running off into the night because of
Oh.
love. Yeah, so they can live,
That's sweet.
in the open, and yeah, and then they had a beautiful countryside wedding, and and then we find out that there's a new Lady Whistledown, and we will see more next season.
Oh my god. I wonder who it's gonna be.
I don't know.
Okay, I
I
have a
don't know.
guess. Should we make our
Okay.
guesses? Okay.
Sure.
I don't know if this person is okay, I have two guesses. Oh, I love your cup, Leora. Hmm.
Oh, thank you. I'm
Yes. Oh my
repping
God, guys, it's the Visa
one
and
of my
Kiki cup.
favorite shows. I don't know if you can see. I have to do like the old school YouTuber thing.
Yeah, to make it focus.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
okay, now this might sound rude, but they are fictional characters, so let's keep that in mind, you guys.
Okay.
Um, so Cressida, right? That's the name of the blonde woman who
Mhm,
married
mhm.
Lord Penwood. So
Yes,
she's the new Lady
yes,
Penwood. Okay, so I
yes.
feel like she would want the role because she tried to claim that she was Whistledown
She
once,
did,
right?
she did.
And I don't know if she's like clever enough. That's the insulting
I don't
part. I
think
don't think
so.
she's
I
clever
don't
enough to
think
really
so.
do it, right?
I was
Okay,
literally gonna
so
s I was literally gonna jump in and say she doesn't have the talent.
yeah, she doesn't have it. She
Yeah.
doesn't have the
Rude
chops.
rude or not, she just doesn't have it, sorry.
Doesn't have the chops. Okay, so that was first instinct. Then second instinct was someone who is quite intellectual, an outsider already,
Mhm.
would be unexpected because she doesn't care about those things, but she is starting to have an interest. Eloise.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like
It would be
that.
kind of surprising, but I
Okay.
don't know, I could see it. Just because she's so literary, I think she would be able to, but, like, what would motivate her to do that? So, I don't know, maybe not.
Mm,
Posey's too sweet. She's chatty enough,
yeah.
but she's too sweet.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comments. I see Hyacinth. I was just gonna say Hyacinth.
Yeah, who do you guys
That could
think?
be a
Okay,
possibility.
Hyacinth? Okay,
I would
okay,
kind of
okay.
love though, I would kind of love if it maybe wasn't a lady and we kind of had a Gossip Girl moment, you
Ooh,
know? You know, it
yes,
could
that
have
would be
been,
good.
you know, maybe a young I don't know, a young gentleman. I'm not sure who though. Like I'm not sure. I'm trying to think who kind of has a nose for a nose or
Nose
anything.
for the
I don't know.
tea. What's going
A
on?
spidey sense for the gossip and kind of
Someone who's
is
always around.
someone who's always around. I mean, maybe I thought it was very interesting because Sophie with all of her education and background, the only thing she couldn't do like a lady was dance. She didn't have formal dance training. So
Right?
it could be somebody similarly stationed like we thought Sophie was. I don't know. Maybe
Laura, I
there's a
was
flip.
just gonna say that. Sorry, no, go ahead. I was just thinking that because we saw how well they navigated, like, all of the
Mhm.
people that work for the
Mhm.
nobility, like, they're the ones that saved Sophie's butt, like, no one would have even known
Yeah.
what was going on. They
No.
figured it
Yes.
out, they were at the other houses, like, they know how to
Absolutely.
get things done, and they
Yeah.
see all.
They see all, they
And
know
that would be
all.
some tea.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Oh,
So
I
I would
hope it's
love
one
if
of
it
them.
was maybe a
Mhm.
footman who happens to be very, well spoken or, well read. I don't know for whatever reason. I don't know how or why or who necessarily, but I think it would be interesting again to it going back to somebody who's an outsider because I think somebody of nobility like I think here Penelope tired of it for different reasons, but somebody who is already
Mhm.
inside that social circle would tire of it because it's like you've got to hide your
Totally.
identity and unless it was to your earlier point somebody coming up somebody who is unwed at this point and they have free time to kind of let their mind ruminate about these things and kind of listen in for gossip and all of those things. I don't know. So I think it could be somebody from we love to talk about upstairs, downstairs, Downton Abbey, so it could be somebody
Ah,
who
so good.
is working in the kitchen, I don't know for whatever reason. I think that would be far more interesting than somebody else who is
I do too.
of nobility or somebody of society.
I wonder if it could be Lady Featherington's, lady's maid that left and was working for, um, Aramenta because she would be,
Ooh.
like, very unexpected because she's very
Ooh.
sweet, kind of demure, but she
Mhm.
does see all, and she's
Yes, yes.
feisty,
Could
so
be,
I could
and
see it being someone totally unexpected like that. Like, "What?
yeah, yeah, and the other
It's
thing is, of
you?"
course, you have to maybe there's an alliance. Maybe it's also like not just one person, or maybe there's maybe it
Oh.
gets messy. I don't know. Maybe there's
Mm-hmm.
two versions of Lady Whistledown or something like that. Something more behind the
Yeah.
scenes where it's like there's a competition. Everybody thinks it's just one person, but it's maybe two people publishing these. Maybe they're conflicting reports, but everybody's like, well, why is Lady Whistledown, contradicting herself over something? I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure, but I feel like there's a lot of
Interesting.
opportunity for Bridgerton hijinks, as always.
A lot of opportunity for that, and we will be here for it. In season 5. Hopefully, it's not like I don't know, it's probably like another year out or so, right? It always
Yeah, I
takes a
don't know.
while.
I don't think I looked up when the next season is supposed to come out or if they've started filming. But yeah,
I have to watch some other shows in the meantime.
we've got plenty to go off
See.
of.
Plenty. Please refer to our earlier comments. All of our
but I
recommendations.
but I did love
See.
I did love the cast. I mean, I always love the cast of
Mhm.
Bridgerton. I think it's so fun to um see new characters. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. We have they start Nelly, thank you. They start
Ooh,
filming in March. Okay.
nice.
Yeah. So maybe end
Oh
of the
my
year,
gosh.
early next year.
LeAura, where are the auditions taking place? We should audition.
Oh, I
Hello.
think it's yeah, that's my British accent.
Practice my
Too,
voice. Yeah.
too much pressure to be the diamond of the season. I don't think I could handle it without a
Too
fainting
much.
couch.
Oh, I think you'd handle it quite well. I'd want to be I'd want to be one of the unexpected, maybe like a maid who creates issues. Like remember Thomas from Downton Abbey? I want to be a
Oh,
Thomas.
yeah.
Just like
Wow.
pranking people. I know. Different
Wow.
side.
Wow. Different kinds of hijinks. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What about you guys? Who would you want to be on Bridgerton? A lady, a lord, or a hijinksing downstairs person?
Some sort of, yeah. Wow.
Isn't there like a something where it's like your name as like a noble person is like street you grew up on, and then hold on. Let me see if there's like your Bridgerton name.
Well,
Just to leave you guys on a high note.
I grew up in New York City, so it's a lot of numbers, so that's not going to work for me.
Ooh. What about is there like another like a school name or something or I don't know. Yeah,
Not
that wouldn't
again,
work.
numbered, like elementary school numbered.
Wait, really?
Yeah, yeah.
What part of New York City did you grow up on or in?
I grew
On.
I grew
Am
up
I okay?
It's okay. I grew up in Manhattan and Chelsea. So I'm right on the grid.
Oh,
So if you don't
cool.
know Manhattan, except for when you get downtown, you run on a grid. So it's like, you go from east to west and the numbers get higher as you go west from east. And then if you go the numbers also increase when you go from south to north. So it's like it's not very exciting. So
Mm.
like you could be I don't know if
Lady
it's like
Chelsea.
the street and the avenue you grew up, it would be like, oh, like like 22nd Street and 7th Avenue. Like that's not a name. So that's what I mean
Okay,
by
I
that.
found it.
Okay.
Love it. Love it. Here, okay, so here's what we can do. Everybody, I want you to participate and please drop it in the comments. So the way
Yes.
that we find our Bridgerton name using a viral TikTok trend is to have first you say your title, Lord or Lady.
Okay.
Then your first name is actually going to be your middle name.
Okay.
So Lord or Lady, your middle name. And then your Bridgerton last name will be the last drink you had plus ton. So
I
I had
have to
Dr.
write this
Pepper.
down.
So I know it's a lot. So Pepperton, because I had Dr. Pepper. And then location would be the first part of your street name plus Shire. Yeah, we got to write this down. Okay, so guys, first write
Whoa.
down Lord or Lady. So Lady,
Okay.
then your middle name. Ooh, okay. the last drink you
And
had,
okay.
plus ton
Okay.
of, and then street name. Well, ours is like a number, but
So maybe
the
neighborhood
first part
then.
is west. So I'll do west. Oh, or neighborhood, yeah.
I think neighborhood is because you're if you're north, south, east, west, I don't think that's going to be as fun.
Okay. Okay, so
And
I'll
I think
do
I
neighborhood.
and if you don't have a middle name, use your first name. That's my suggestion.
I'm
Or
gonna
use
shorten
it.
the neighborhood to not be creepy because I don't want
Yeah.
people to necessarily put out where I live, but I'll shorten it and it still
Okay.
works. Okay. Oh, all right. Do you have your name, LeAura?
I have mine. So I'm going with
Introducing for your
Lady Le
consideration as the diamond of the season. Sorry.
Ooh, Lady LeAura, Liquid IV Ton of
No.
Chelsea.
Ivyton. Ivyton. You're gonna
Ivy
shorten it. Yes.
Well, I want to give the whole proper name, Liquid IV Ton. I had
Liquid
a
Ivyton.
I had a sugar-free liquid IV that's what is the flavor? It's like a sorbet, like a mixed sorbet flavor. It's really yummy.
Ooh,
So
yum.
it's like a dessert in your water and you
Oh,
just drink more water. Like I'm almost done with this bad boy.
amazing. Look at her. She's
Yeah.
hydrated and she's the lady of Ivyton.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I love it. Okay, so mine is Lady Jade Pepperton of Brookshire. I think
Ooh.
that's pretty
I
dead on.
like
I'll go with
it.
it.
I like it.
Because
Brookshire
I had Dr.
probably
Pepper. So but
okay.
I said Pepper.
That's good.
Yeah,
Oh, and we
Lady
have
Jade
some
Pepperton
comments.
of Brookshire.
Let's
That's my
see.
name. You guys? Lady Anna Appleton of Thumbelina. Ooh,
Thumbelina.
I love that.
Ooh, fun.
Oh my god, I love it.
Okay.
I
Lady
loved
Mary
Thumbelina as a kid.
Watertown. Lady Mary Watertown of Summer Ave. Okay.
Oh
Love
my
that too.
god. Guys, these are
Watertown.
good.
That is fun.
Guys, we
Just
have
add
to
the
remember
ton to
this.
everything. Yes.
Mhm.
That's very
These are our new
complicated.
these are our
Yeah.
new
I think
Bridgerton names. We shall keep
this
them.
this is also fun when you go to an event. For me, no one I would be the person that goes to an event and does this and like hello my name is like on the name tags and I would have this and people would be like what is your obsession with
Lady
liquid
LeAura.
IV?
Ivyton.
Ivyton of Chelsea. What? That's so
I
weird.
love it. I love it.
I think that's
That is
amazing.
so cute. Okay, well now we know who we would be, guys. And this was really fun. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for hanging out with us and chatting about Bridgerton. LeAura, this was so fun. I'm glad we watched it together.
I had a great time and I can't wait for next
Same.
season.
I know. Same. It's going to be good. It's going to be another good one. And then in the meantime, is there anything that you want to plug, LeAura? Any upcoming recaps that you're working on, maybe?
Oh gosh. I wasn't, but I don't know because there's so much news all the time. So I was thinking of doing something and you guys can tell me if you're interested about Heated Rivalry. As I mentioned at the top, I am a Heated Rivalry pilled, obsessed, and Connor Story is going to be hosting Saturday Night Live tomorrow night, and I wanted to do like a recap or something like that, but of course it's Saturday Night Live, so that means it's live and it's late, so I wasn't sure who would be interested and all of that good stuff. But there's so much going on with the cast of Heated Rivalry, especially the two leads. So there's nothing to plug yet, but I'm very curious about what everybody is interested in because it's a topic that I can just kind of go on and on about. And I feel like there is no end to my interest in this show. And hopefully we'll have more seasons to cover. But for now, you can find me on Instagram at LeAura and also my podcast, What's Your Skincare Routine with LeAura Luciano, here on YouTube as well. Yeah, and Instagram at LeAura, if I didn't already say that, and on TikTok too.
Amazing. Nellie says you can't wait till tomorrow. Wait, what?
Yeah, can't wait till tomorrow for Heated Rivalry. Related content. No, I'm kidding. First, Connor Story on SNL. Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Can't wait
That's
till tomorrow. Okay. I read that wrong,
yeah.
guys. I need to go to bed. What the heck?
Yeah.
Like,
It's okay. You would
unwell.
get it. You would get it. You just haven't watched the show yet. So that's it.
Yeah. I
Everybody
have like
is
a brain
you'll
block
get caught
because I
up.
don't know what's
Yes, for
going on yet.
SNL.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's all
messed up.
SNL. Yep. It's okay.
Yes. And for everybody who is a member or a patron over on Patreon, I am doing part 2. As you guys know, I'm working my way through all of the Bridgerton characters, and I'll be doing part 2 of the, my made up astrology of these characters. We're going to talk about Penelope, Anthony, and the Queen for installment 2. So keep an eye out for that, you
Ooh.
guys. It's kind of like what I have going on. But all right, you guys, this was so much fun. Thanks for hanging out with us. And LeAura, this was such a good time.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks everybody for joining. See you soon.
We need to like play the outro music,
Yes,
like the
yes.
Bridgerton outro music for the dance.
I'll just
Beautiful. All
fan.
right. Bye, guys. Yeah,
Bye.
just fan. You just fan us out. Fan us out. Love it.